Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Risk of Rain 2. And no, don't worry, we're not going to play multi again. Mostly because I've, well, for one, I promised to play Accurate next, and I want to do that. But also I played multi a lot off camera since last time, trying to get this final challenge in, which, well, as you can see, I finally did. I unlocked the Power Saw, which is the final possible primary skill, which apparently is a melee. I have not tried it yet. It sounds pretty powerful, but obviously it once again drastically changes his options in combat. Yeah, I'm gonna explore that at some point, but not today. Well, and then of course we still have to do the mastery thing, which I suppose, now that I've played him so much, should be doable. Always a bit of luck involved in that, and getting a good run on Monsoon. But it'll happen eventually. Anyway, suffice it to say that unlocking this was more of a pain than you would think, and I guess I'm going to talk a bit more about that as I play, perhaps, depending on how much downtime I find myself with. There are a couple of things... well, this one seems rough, seems very, very random. Killing the teleporter boss that quickly... I guess you would have to become extremely powerful very early on, or I suppose sometimes deep in a run bosses die very quickly, but 5 seconds is a very, very, very tight. Anyway, a zero sum I thought would be a pain, but I think it's actually easy to do, and I would like to do that if it weren't for, you know, Accurate. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it. We still have the bad medicine. Wait, oh yeah, okay, I guess this might happen eventually. Honestly, I'm not sure if what I'm planning to do today allows for this to happen, but we should get this one. If not in this run, I guess it depends on how long it goes, but it should definitely happen eventually. Now, I'm going to play on highest difficulty because why not? Obviously, I'm a Accurate expert. This could go very poorly. And I'm also going to play with a couple of artifacts. Not Command, because I'm actually not super fond of it. Definitely not for normal runs. It does allow you to experiment and, you know, just see some ridiculous stack numbers for certain items that you would not otherwise get. But it's not that much fun just to play with regularly. This one, I don't know. How many of these should I enable? This would be interesting, but no. I think for today I'm going to go with... No, not that. Chaos? Nope. Wait. Friendly fire? No, definitely not. So I'm gonna go with Dissonance, to which allows enemies to spawn on any type of map. Evolution is not going to do anything with what I have in mind. I am going to play with Sacrifice though, which is vital to what I'm planning. Wisps. I don't know if this makes things more interesting. Literally, every enemy spawns a ghostly-looking, well, wisp-type enemy. I don't know if they are always the same, or if their strength depends on the enemy killed. I'm not going to play with that today. So the plan is to actually never leave stage 1, and I have no idea. Wow. Okay, we start with 2 Shrines of the Mountain, or Challenges of the Mountain, or whatever. Shrine of the Mountain. Which is kind of ironic, because, obviously, if we're not going to leave the stage, we're not going to activate the teleporter. Or at least that's the plan. Of course, this only works when enemies have a chance to drop items, or else, you know, we'll just never become any stronger, while the enemies do. In fact, playing on Monsoon probably ensures that I'm not going to last very long here. So, I've never tried this before. Obviously it wasn't really possible, well, except maybe with mods. It wasn't possible before the Artifacts update, and the Sacrifice artifact. I mean, I suppose I might as well activate this. Oh right, and I have the alternate passive that actually makes it so that the poison is lethal now. It doesn't leave enemies at 1 HP. I forget what the drawback is to it, if there is one. I guess there has to be one, right? It can't just be a straight upgrade. Or else that would be a little bit weird. Anyway, I guess I'll go around and pick up whatever there is to pick up, but obviously all I can really do is wait for enemies to stop to start dropping items. Oh, that's right. We got once again how that works. Oh god. Okay. Well, that almost ended much quicker than I thought. Oh, hey. Speak of the devil. That's a pretty good item. Now, I'm probably not going to survive. Wow, is there a third shrine? That's crazy. You never see that. Even if I had been planning to do a normal run, I guess I wouldn't... Wait, or is that the second one? No, that has to be though. Has to be a third one. Yeah, even if this was supposed to be a normal run. Could you please leave me alone, guys? Thank you. Yeah, 3 shrines on Monsoon is absolutely terrifying, especially on stage 1 with no items. Yeah, definitely not a good idea. Wait, you know what? That's a teleporter. I'm done. It's only 2 shrines, which is still terrifying, but I suppose not quite as crazy. Of course, enemy spawns are pretty slow early on, even on Monsoon, but that's going to change. Did that hit? Actually? I think it might have. Not sure. Uh-oh. Oh, hey. Wow, we're getting super lucky. Of course, we also have to get an actual equipment now. Don't like these guys with their lasers. But that completely missed. I mean, I thought there was some element of homing to it. Actually, in fact, I thought for sure that was the case. I guess you still have to be somewhat accurate, or... Well. Imagine that, having to actually aim at your enemies. There's a good reason I'm mostly playing Huntress. And in fact, I was very tempted to attempt this kind of challenge, or, you know, well, I suppose it's a kind of challenge. As Huntress. Still, by far, the character I feel the most comfortable playing. I mean, I suppose technically I could activate the teleporter. I suppose I would make more enemies spawn, huh? But maybe that's not even that great of an idea. Oh wow, that was an instant kill. I could do it. Kill the boss, kill the extra enemies. Kill the extra enemies, no. Grab the extra items, is what I meant to say. Wow, only tier 2s? What the heck is going on? Well, okay, there's a tier 1, which is not going to be very helpful on this run. Except, of course, well... Actually, I'm not sure. Still not entirely sure if these armor-piercing rounds apply to all boss-type enemies, or only specifically the designated teleporter boss for each stage. I mean, if this keeps going long enough, and obviously even on Monsoon, we're still in easy scaling at this point, but more and more enemies will start spawning, and eventually boss types will spawn. Now, I'm not sure if, for example, scavengers will just start spawning. I've seen them be on stages, on later game stages, right from the start, but I'm not sure if they just appear over time when you're already on a stage. Nope, don't! Okay, I definitely need some healing. Wow, this fire damage is insane. Would you please not just kill me? Yikes. Okay, and this epidemic skill just keeps missing completely. Okay, well, I mean, we're getting some items. Some of them are completely useless, of course. That's gasoline, not useless. Still, I'd like some movement speed, some healing of some sort, or damage reduction would also work. Actually, both. I mean, we're gonna get everything if this just keeps going for long enough. Really, that just flew right through them. Didn't even try to home in on them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's never been homing. I don't know. Whoa, 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 whoa! Don't. Okay. Well, that's on me. Maybe I shouldn't. The idea was that, you know, more enemies would start spawning more quickly on Monsoon. But then again, maybe that's not such a great idea. In the interest of maybe actually being successful with this challenge, even if the beginning is even slower, I'm gonna play on Rainstorm, I guess. Also, probably not a terrible idea, just because I'm not particularly familiar. And there's another Shrine of the Mountain. Oh. And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and try and kill the teleporter boss. Of course, I'm gonna have to be careful not to accidentally enter the teleporter area. Oh, hi there, Ella Lemurian. Or, not Ella Lemurian. Parent, actually. No! You dodged. Wait, there it curved around. So I guess it just flies at very high velocity in a straight line for a while before it starts homing in. I'd also like to buy this while I'm here. Just, you know, because I can. That did not fly as far as I thought it would. Wow, and we get an infusion as our first item. That is useful if we survive. I mean, every item is only ever useful if we actually survive. But obviously getting that as early as possible is ideal. Oh, okay. Actually, shooting the thing at the ground seemed to make it rebound immediately and target the enemies. Maybe that's the trick. I'm still learning here. Still learning the ropes. Also, oh, well, yeah. Thanks, I guess. Yeah, okay, that works. It actually hits the ground and bounces back immediately. And I'm getting super lucky with items. We got some healing, unlike last time. That actually hit. Okay, cool. Of course, if I'm going to activate the teleporter, I'm absolutely going to make sure that there is not a second shrine on this stage either. Oh, no. Well, would you please? Okay, I guess I did hit. These guys are still a little bit obnoxious though. Thankfully, the damage per tick from the laser is very minimal, but I mean, it would be literally impossible if it weren't, because it's so hard to avoid. Okay, good to know that a single hit from this skill actually is enough to kill the normal Lemurians. Nope. Well, that was a miss. A swing and a miss. Okay. Useful, actually. Well, I mean, so long as I'm killing enemies up close. But of course, even though Ekrit's primary attack is a melee attack, he's also going to deal a lot of damage with his diseases to very distant enemies, which are not going to be affected by the crystal in this case. But that's fine. So yeah, again, the downside to activating the teleporter... Well, I suppose... No. Never mind. Almost said something dumb. The downside to activating the teleporter now and killing the boss is, of course, that we'll have to avoid the teleporter area henceforth. Because obviously it's... wait, actually, I don't think I can do that. Now that I think about it. No, I think so long as the boss can be dead, but so long as the teleporter percentage is not maxed out, enemies will keep spawning. In fact, they should be spawning at a faster rate. So I think, well, I think we should be good. Oh no. Wait. No, that missed. Return. Pandemic. That guy was not affected. Too far away, I guess. What the heck? Oh, okay. Part of a brass contraption, I suppose. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Obviously I didn't see another Shrine of the Mountain on the stage. Okay. Oh my... What? Overloading parent? Are you kidding? 3 of them? As the first stage boss? On normal difficulty? That's a little bit insane, isn't it? Okay. Well, should probably make sure not to miss those attacks. I also definitely don't have a ton of items that improve my combat prowess at all. In fact, I barely have anything. Oh god, oh god. Well, I mean... Oh, yeah, I'm actually dead. Okay, well, that was unfortunate. That seems like an extremely rough first stage boss. I mean, I suppose normally parents can't spawn on this stage, on the first stages period, but still. I suppose maybe they are inherently stronger than the bosses normally possible on the first stage. Well, I mean, I feel like I got kind of lucky. Yeah, I definitely got lucky with the infusion and the fungus early on. But that boss was definitely not lucky. I feel like there was not a whole lot I could do there. I mean, I suppose I could have started running as soon as I saw them, if I had realized how tough they were with what I currently had. Could have just, you know, maybe even moved away from them enough so that they would lose track of me, try to gather a couple more items, or at the very least try to lure them closer to my turret, which I had, right? Might have been an option. Are you gonna die from the pandemic? No. Okay, well, razor wire, also not bad. I mean, I suppose any item that... Well, almost any item is useful early on. Especially tier 2s, of course, are a welcome sight. In general, I can't believe how lucky I've been with getting just the number of items that I've been getting. I was expecting much worse, honestly. I've definitely seen much worse. Sacrifice runs where I would barely get any item at all during the entire first stage. Where I basically had to face the first stage boss with almost nothing. I mean, it's always a trade-off. You can always just keep farming enemies before activating the teleporter, but obviously that makes the time tick up, which in this case, of course, isn't an issue because we're trying to achieve exactly that. Alright, teleporters here. I haven't seen a shrine this time, which might also not be a good idea, as we've seen last time. I suppose certain elites are just really bad, but of course a shrine doesn't guarantee an elite. More often than not it will. Sure, thanks, I guess. Better than nothing. If not by much. I mean, I guess it's technically can be a very useful item. Probably. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, more often than not the shrine will just generate multiple bosses. Well, I guess, or we get just, you know, another freaking elite version, elite boss, without any shrine at all. That's certainly rare. Oh my god! I'm dead. Yep, fire's gonna kill me. Okay. I should have just, once again, ditched, probably just retreated to try to reach the plateau here to get away from those bisons. That was dumb. Starting to definitely wonder whether trying to attempt this was a good idea. Especially trying to attempt it as accurate. Or any character I'm not, you know, super comfortable with. Definitely no reason to take this shrine here, unless there are a billion drones and turrets here. I mean, obviously I knew that this challenge in itself was, you know, just an experiment. And not necessarily very successful. Obviously, even if I succeed, how do I even measure success in this case? Obviously, I'm not gonna win the game unless I survive long enough, become super overpowered, and eventually decide to just keep going to, you know, to end the run with success. But that's not the plan, and I very much doubt that it's going to happen. Grinder is interesting. There's a shrine. I mean, we've seen that even without a shrine we can just get screwed by the game very hard, so I might as well take it. So that in the in the rare event that, the unlikely event that I actually win, especially with the shrine on, I'll get 2 extra green items from the boss. Which, you know, in the long run, if I keep surviving, aren't gonna make a huge difference. But still, I want to do it. I mean, it's something I can do. One of the few things that I can do if I stay on one stage indefinitely. So I guess I might as well. Nice. I mean, landing on top of enemies is actually pretty fun. Should definitely be doing that more. Also, a movement item, if not the best, but it's definitely appreciated as the first item to get. I'm really surprised by just the sheer number of tier 2s I've been getting. That is not my normal experience. But then I haven't really played with Sacrifice a lot, or at all, since that latest small patch, which did mention that they changed something about Sacrifice works with initial spawns. I think that's all it says. No specifics given at all. But surely that couldn't mean that they just give you more better items early on, right? Or maybe that's exactly what they changed, so that when you're playing with Sacrifice, it's the early game is less item starved, generally speaking. I mean, it's still random, I guess, but if they actually did change something about that, then certainly right now it feels like they maybe cranked it up a little bit too much. Just getting like 75% green items every third mob. Well, I mean, it's not really like that, but kind of. Nothing up here, huh? I mean, honestly, this is the one situation where lots of drones would actually be quite helpful. Well, okay. 3 mushrooms. Missed completely. That also almost completely missed. Okay, mushroom dropping mushroom, makes sense. Not sure where he was aiming that projectile. Side of the bridge, I guess? Yep. Is there something like there? A turret? No, that's just a dead enemy. Okay. Wow. Not even sure if the splash damage from the jump hit at all. Maybe. It's definitely very easy to overshoot your target. So I don't know, I suppose there is an element of targeting the jump. It certainly doesn't seem to go exactly where I'm pointing. There's definitely a certain amount of momentum involved as well. Okay, this is actually already a little bit rough. Thanks for the bandolier, I guess. Gonna wait to regen just a little bit. It's extremely good to have this option, that's for sure. Okay, actually there is a healing zone here, which is very good. The bad news is that it is going to be completely inside the teleporter area, so also activating the teleporter and having to make sure not to accidentally advance it all the way. Basically means that this entire half of the map is going to be restricted area for me. Should probably also go ahead and try and fight those vagrants from above, if anything. So you're not going to... Well, I mean, I suppose that one is actually kind of inside this tunnel, which I don't normally see. Oh god, okay. Maybe it's time to play it a little bit safe. Huh. As in... Oh, well. I'll wait right there. Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's rough, but at least I don't have a group of elites as my boss. That's something. These guys are slowly going down, and I seriously have never seen them follow me into this tunnel like this. maybe I've never really played in a way that would, you know, cause them to do it. Okay. Oh, there's the first Nova. Actually happened a bit earlier than I would have expected. Okay, you should be going down now. Alright, alright. Of course, that was only the first half of the problem. Oh, hey. That is much appreciated. It's gonna speed up things in general from here on out, as well as specifically the next boss fight. Speaking of which, oh, you're still here. Okay, these fire guys I probably don't want to get too close to. Although I suppose I can damage them with my melee attack without them damaging me, if I'm being careful. Alright. Oh no! Don't fall, actually. I mean, he's not close to exploding right now, but that kind of thing could definitely be very, very bad for me. I mean, we can stay like this. Should be pretty safe. Would appreciate if these guys would leave me alone a bit more, but I mean, obviously that's not gonna happen. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay. That wasn't so bad. Wasn't as bad as it could have been. Okay, please stay down, though. Alright, getting close. There we go. Alright. Yep, okay, well. Surprised I did not fall there. Was not expecting that. Okay, I'm there, I massively overshot. Maybe I didn't target it quite right, that's very possible. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunately completely useless. But I appreciate the gesture. Let's see what we can get. Or let's see what we got from the bosses. 2 green items. Please be something good. Not really sure what I would wish for the most. Oh, ATGs are actually quite good. You know what? I'm not upset about these at all. I also want to leave the teleporter area ASAP. To not accidentally advance it too much, just in case I have to, you know, find myself running later on. You know, darting across the stage. Also, what I'm not entirely sure about is whether with the artifact that makes enemies spawn on stages they normally wouldn't, if that... I think, or yeah, rather I think the way it works is that it just chooses a set of enemies to spawn for any given stage from you know, the pool of all available enemy types, just without the normal restrictions of the stage. But it doesn't mean that all enemy types will eventually start spawning, which would be ideal for this challenge, of course, just for the sake of variety. But I wonder how that works with later game spawns. I mean, we're still only in medium difficulty, so we're not quite yet seeing boss monsters spawn. But I wonder if those are gonna be restricted to a certain set, maybe only the same type that we've seen as the teleporter boss, namely Vagrant. Or if that will draw from a bigger pool of, or maybe all the boss monsters eventually. Maybe restrictions are even going to be lifted on higher difficulty scalings. And we will eventually see more enemy types. I mean, I suppose there are also non-boss enemies that only spawn later in the game, like Greater Wisps, Lemurians, Parents, Void Reavers, I suppose, which I've only ever seen very late in runs, despite not being that threatening. Oh, yes, thanks, I guess. What are you? Oh, Predatory? Yes, nice. Some extra crit. I appreciate it. ATGs are doing some work as well. Of course, their spawn chance is pretty low. Well, I don't know how low exactly, but it doesn't get any higher with stacks. Just the damage increases. Well, I suppose this is the game now. We'll just be hanging around here. Unfortunately, the large open area is off limits. Because, of course, as soon as we finish the teleporter charging, enemies will stop spawning. Okay, Chrono Bauble. Mildly useful, I guess. Not sure what the drone was shooting there. Maybe I'll hang around on this island a little bit. Doesn't feel quite as constrained. Wait, did I? I thought I heard an item spawning. Maybe not. No, right there. Have the saw blades. Bit of a waste though, as he was already mostly dead. Okay, that's actually extremely useful. Giving me more uses for my ranged skill. Much appreciated. Unfortunately, it doesn't reduce the cooldown. That would be extremely good. Oh, can my drone take care of the vulture? Well, eventually. Surprised the drone has not been taking much damage at all. Although I suppose there are only very few ranged enemies in this particular enemy set that we get. Really, only the vultures so far? Well, and the golems with their laser, but like I say, their chance of actually hitting the drone with that is pretty low. So I guess in that regard we could definitely have... could definitely be much worse off in terms of enemies. Also, the printer is not actually available during... well, forever. Because we're not going to finish the teleporter, but, you know, that's fine. I wasn't really planning on using that. suppose I might as well talk about why it was such a pain to get that final alternate skill unlocked for multi. So, as you may remember, the challenge involved killing an Imp Overlord boss, not necessarily as the teleporter boss, I guess, just an Imp Overlord enemy, with the Prion Accumulator usable item. And so I went ahead and tried doing that on Drizzle difficulty, just, you know, for the sake of not having to worry about things too much. With Command Artifact, of course, to ensure that as soon as I got any use item, it would be the correct one. And then I figured it was, you know, basically only a matter of starting over with the first stage over and over again. All I really needed was to get any use item, which would automatically be the correct one, as I said, and then, you know, I'd only need to get lucky with the boss being Imp Overlord. And as soon as I unlocked that, because I ended up actually completing multiple runs before I was able to finish the challenge, and in doing so I unlocked multiple new artifacts, including the one that we're using right now. Which I forget what it's called, but the one that makes enemies spawn anywhere. Because normally Imp Overlords can't spawn in first stage, so I had to actually just keep playing and hoping for stages that could spawn Imp Overlord. But I mean, I suppose, as you may already have guessed, it only took me so long because I just got incredibly unlucky. I don't know, the first run or so, I don't know how many I ultimately did. But it was definitely like 4 or 5 complete runs, some of them, most of them quite long. Because I played on Drizzle, obviously, I didn't die. I wasn't really in danger of dying most of the time. But I just got extremely unlucky. Either I got no use item. I think the first run I actually got the item, but I just never saw the Imp Overlord. Just, I looped around, went to stage, I don't know, something pretty high. Got incredibly overpowered, of course, in the process, stacking up all kinds of items because I was using command. So I was basically just, you know, playing around with all kinds of builds. I think the first one was actually lightning focused, where I stacked ukuleles and Tesla coil and had them trigger effects on hit, which was extremely overpowered, of course, and fun to do. So it's not like, you know, failing all those runs was a complete loss, because obviously it was still fun to do, but I just couldn't believe that I was getting that unlucky. So yeah, I had the item forever, but it took me like until stage 12, 13, 14, something like that, before I first even saw Imp Overlords. And of course by the time it wasn't a single one, but it was like 3 or 4 of them spawning. And I, you know, celebrated internally, fired off the item. They died instantly, but it didn't get me the achievement, because there were just too many triggered effects. So I guess even though I did fire off the item, but I also had drones and whatnot, and just things going off randomly. I guess the Tesla coil just firing off and triggering effects. So yeah, ultimately they did die, but they didn't actually die to the damage from the item, but from some kind of effect triggered by the item or something else. So it didn't count. And yeah, that's when I realized that I either had to make sure not to stack anything that procs the extra damage, which might then override, or, you know, might then cause the game to register that as the killing blow, or, you know, just get a little bit luckier and actually get the boss before that stage of the game where that kind of thing can happen. But then the next run, I just didn't find a use item until stage 10 or so, which is just, you know, equally crazy. And of course I did get Imp Overlord earlier then, I just didn't have the item. So that was mildly aggravating. and then, yeah, I had basically another run where I just didn't see a single... Imp Overlord, and so on and so forth. So yeah, and then eventually I did it, but even on the final successful run, it took a long time, and I only got the Imp Overlord, I don't know, at some point during the second loop. And I was afraid that the same thing would happen again, basically, but I actually managed to weaken the Overlords without killing them, which was easier said than done, because by the time the bosses would actually die super quickly. Some elites were real tough, but I think that was on Sky Meadow? Yeah, pretty sure. Multiple Overlords spawned, I just shot them a couple of times and they were down to half health, and then I started the accumulator, which has a pretty long wind-up. And I was worried about them teleporting out of the way, not getting hit at all, or, you know, things like that. But actually, as I was charging up the item, which only takes a couple of seconds, they were actually losing health from all kinds of delayed triggered effects and whatnot, and they almost died by the time the thing went off and hit them, but it actually worked out. I was so tense. But yeah, it was very satisfying to finally get it after, I don't know, several hours worth of attempts. For something that's not supposed to be difficult. It's just, you know, it was just pure luck, or bad luck in that case. So that's just how this game can go. But again, I mean, I'm saying that, and I was mildly annoyed just, you know, for getting screwed by RNG, but I still was able to experiment with some interesting builds. Actually, I said that the first one that I did was the electricity one. I'm not so sure anymore now. I think the first one really that I did off camera, I stacked explosions, now that I think about it. Like I had, oh yeah, you know what? I think that's the one. Well, I had a variety of different ones, and for each of them, of course. Oh, speak of the devil, huh? No, I'm gonna pick it. You know what? Screw you, accumulator. Oh hey, but I'll take more missiles. Yeah, so I did a variety of different builds, of course. Try to stack a different type of main damaging item for each run, just for the sake of variety. But for one, I definitely did go for explosions, and I stacked things like, well, mostly Will-o'-the-Wisp. The wisps in a jar, and I stacked that up to 30, I think, ultimately, or some such absurd number. I'm pretty sure I hit at least 30, and they stack not only damage on enemy death, but also the radius of the explosion. And of course, if you kill one enemy, it blows up and deals enough damage to another enemy. That enemy will also will die and trigger another explosion, and so on and so forth. And with 30 stacks, or a stack of 30, both the radius and damage were so huge that they would normally kill, well, not just at least something, but after a certain point they would reliably kill everything within a radius that covered, like, easily, I don't know, a quarter of the stage or so, which would ensure that basically the entire stage would be cleared in one chain reaction of explosions, which was extremely satisfying. And of course, I also had things like sticky bombs and I don't know what else. Things to help with proc chance, I guess. So with those, the runs where my main damage item was based on proc chance, especially when it's something that doesn't stack proc chance, which most items don't. I would then pick at least one 57 leaf clover as my tier 3, just to increase chances for that. But what else did I stack? On one run, possibly on the last one, the one that was eventually successful, I went ahead and stacked the hook, the meat hook. Tier 3 item, not entirely sure what that's called actually. Which was also pretty cool. I think that also stacks damage, as well as the radius, or maybe the number of enemies it pulls together. Definitely pretty fun to look at. Wow, okay. Suddenly equipment central here, which is, you know, not exactly all that helpful. I guess I could go for the missiles and just fire them out occasionally, so I don't have to worry about aiming them at a specific enemy, and they will potentially take care of multiple enemies at once. Because obviously, for the time being, we're not really dealing with strong individual enemies that I would like to use my... oh, hi there. use my razor blades for. Saw meringue. Honestly, I was expecting things to become more difficult, more dangerous, quicker than this. "30 minutes in on this run." Actually, I should have started a timer. We had like, what, 2, 3 failed runs before this one? I don't even remember. But they were all fairly short, so I guess we're... well, I don't know. Probably still under an hour overall time. But yeah, this has definitely been going on for a while, and we're still only in hard difficulty. Maybe I should have kept sticking with Monsoon. Oh, hi there. New enemy type. Well then. I suppose, as I said earlier though, this guy must have been basically chosen as part of the enemy set, but certain enemies are higher level than the game will spawn initially, and only now has the difficulty advanced enough to allow for enough enemy spawn budget, I guess, to make those higher tier enemies actually appear. I still don't think that all enemy types will eventually show up here, which, you know, is a bit of a shame, but I guess ultimately also not a bad thing. Or else it would just be too random. Picking a specific random set of enemies per stage, I think, is ultimately better. In normal runs, anyway. And this is a very special case, of course. I would have also picked an artifact that just makes enemies spawn with items over time, but I'm pretty sure the one artifact that exists and that I have unlocked that does something similar only makes enemies stronger with each progressive stage. I don't know if it gives them one new item per stage. I think it does. I think that's how it works. But obviously, if you're not advancing stages, that has no effect. So. Oh wow, that guy died quickly. I mean, I definitely feel like I'm getting more powerful, that's for sure. I don't have anything in terms of damage reduction, and I don't have a lot of healing at all. But I'm definitely feeling quite powerful. Maybe I'm gonna move on to a different area just for the sake of variety, but there's really not that many options, I should say. Ghost Tome, that's pretty much the most useless item that I could possibly get. Literally no effect. So yeah, other than the area with the teleporter, what is this actually? Why is this here? Who knows? Yeah, other than the teleporter area, which I'm going to avoid, of course, there's really only these narrow ledges and tunnels. Well, I suppose this is not a terrible place to fight either. It's not that narrow. It's probably not a terrible idea to have a change of scenery every now and then, to avoid, you know, going completely crazy. Here's some healing. Although honestly, I'm still not sure how good of a healing item the fresh meat is compared to other options. Oh, hey, when did this drop? Guess that must have been lying around there for a while. Huh? Who spawned? Where? Is that you? Oh, nope, that was a golem, I heard. And he hit me. Oh boy. Suddenly lots of golems. Actually, never mind, I thought there was one more behind me. Now going up here is kind of risky because if I fall I'm gonna land in the teleporter. Pretty much. It's a nice place to fight though. In theory. Could be fighting up there. Oh boy. Okay. That looked a bit scary there for a second. Is there a green item? Oh yeah, there is. I prefer a harvester's scythe for some extra healing and more crits. Okay, a second dagger. I like it. But what I'm definitely learning here is that enemy difficulty scaling just from time advancing without the jumps that occur whenever you actually switch stages or advance stages isn't all that bad, at least on normal difficulty. Should be quite a bit more challenging on Monsoon. Which is, again, the main reason I'm regretting not having stuck with that. I mean, the beginning was rough, but I guess ultimately it would have made for a more interesting run in the long run. I was just a little bit too impatient to actually get it going. But now I know, if I'm going to attempt this again, I'm probably, well, not only going to use a different character, not because I'm not enjoying Akrit, I think he's actually doing just fine. Or I'm definitely growing much more accustomed to using him. But just for the sake of variety. But I'm definitely going to play it on Monsoon as well, just for, you know, a little bit of an increased challenge. Definitely expected this to be worse. But I mean, we have seen one new enemy type, one tougher enemy type appear. Actually, I haven't seen those Clay Templars in a while now, huh? I've seen exactly 2, and that was that. But it's only gonna scale up from here, so probably going to see more of them. In fact, now that I said something, probably gonna see some soon. That's usually how these things go, huh? Those missiles are very confused. And then they gave up. Well, I guess they tried. Nice. I'm gonna say this Caustic Leap ability is actually pretty satisfying to use. Did definitely not give it enough credit initially. We must probably also be getting pretty close to unlocking that one of the challenges, where I needed to infect like 600 more enemies. I mean, I don't know how many I killed. Honestly, enemy spawn numbers have picked up quite a bit, but they're definitely not anywhere near where they would be like an hour into a normal run, where we would be deep inside max difficulty territory. Well, not there's no max difficulty, but you know, the highest tier is just called and the difficulty does keep scaling after that. It just doesn't have any more named tiers after that, to my knowledge. As always, take anything with a certain grain of salt, because I mean, while I have played this game for well over 200 hours at this point, and I have watched at least that much again in other people's playthroughs. Well, not playthroughs, but just other people's games. And read a little bit about certain things, but yeah, I mean, my memory is not always very accurate, and I definitely don't trust myself most of the time. Not without double checking. So you shouldn't either. Would not mind a double jump. If I'm allowed to voice any requests here. Game. Just saying. Oh, we still shouldn't necessarily hang out right next to a fire elite, even if it's just a beetle. Our drone is still doing fine, but we have still not seen any more Clay Templars. It must be a quirk of how the enemy budgeting works. As far as I understand it, and this is purely from you know, reading patch notes and the wording of those, and not actually looking into the very specifics. And I'm sure people have analyzed the code and figured out exactly how all these things work at this point. But just from the way I understand it, is that for each difficulty, I suppose, at any point during the scaling, the game, the director, or whatever you want to call it, has a certain budget of points to spend on enemies. And each enemy has a certain point cost associated with them. Can only assume that elites cost more, or maybe there is a separate budget for the number and types of elites that can appear, because obviously you're not seeing Malachite or Celestial elites until later in the game, so there must be special rules in place for those as well. But yeah, that's basically the reason why you only see certain, generally easier enemies early on, and tougher enemy types will only appear later in the game. I mean, I guess it's not purely, it can't be purely explained just by the point costs, or else the game could just decide to spawn a single, say, Void Reaver on stage 1 instead of 20 Wisps and 10 Lemurians or something. Well, not that many enemies spawn at the same time early on, but you know what I'm saying. So obviously it's not as simple as that, but something like that is in place as far as I understand it. And that makes me wonder why we saw 2 Clay Templars, or was it 3? I think it was only 2. Spawn a while ago, but then never again after that. Obviously, some kind of threshold must have been passed at that time, where it was suddenly possible for the game to spawn them. But now it's not doing it. Even though presumably it still could. Certainly wouldn't make sense for, you know, that threshold to be passed at some point, but then to revert to a point where the game just cannot spawn that enemy type anymore. Unless the difficulty scaling also doesn't actually progress in a linear fashion, but why wouldn't it? Well, it's just, you know, these kinds of things that you suddenly find yourself with time to think about when you're doing this kind of thing, which is admittedly a little bit more mindless than gameplay would normally be. Normally you'd have to, you know, constantly deal with a new stage layout, trying to figure out where things are, figure out your movements for dodging enemies and getting to where you want to be. That is obviously not the case here. And again, I was expecting this to become more difficult more quickly. We are in technically insane difficulty, which I'm not feeling right now, to be quite honest. But well, again, this was supposed to be an experiment, and I didn't really know what exactly to expect. I haven't seen anyone do this kind of challenge in Risk of Rain 2. I have seen it done in Risk of Rain 1, where it definitely would get pretty insane eventually. Another one. Well, that was mostly a waste. Oh, teddy bear, hey. I like it. I wasn't so sure about the power of the pandemic, or what's it actually called? Epidemic, okay, not pandemic, of course. Yeah, I guess this is pretty localized. Not much of a pandemic. So, yeah, I wasn't so sure about the power of that skill earlier, but obviously now that we have things that trigger on hit, which these the pandemic hits can trigger, it certainly is feeling a lot more powerful. Well, we have some kind of movement enhancement ability here. Even if we're going to be in combat pretty much constantly, so it's not really going to come into play. It's going to be useful for when I choose to relocate to another location, which I'm, you know, might do, honestly. Maybe it's time to return to the island. Or maybe even be a bit risky and play close to the teleporter. Unfortunately, the gate is closed, so we don't have that as an option. I suppose it might technically be possible to get to the other side. Well, with enough double jumps, it definitely is possible. But we don't have those. I'm also not sure if enemies would spawn there if the area is not officially open. Not entirely sure now that I think about it. This is also actually kind of a bad spot to be in. I mean, for the time being, it's fine. Well, of course, if I kill enemies inside the teleporter area, I'll have to enter it to pick them up. And while we're not anywhere near accidentally finishing it, but, you know, whenever we dip into the bubble, it's going to advance ever so slightly, and if this keeps going long enough, and right now it looks like it will, of course, Unless I mess up or decide to end it. Yeah, I'll have to kind of do this to get out of here. Yeah, those little visits will add up, which I would like to avoid. Maybe it's back to the island for now. I don't think we've seen a single elite golem either. Which I suppose those are generally pretty tough. Probably have a pretty high spawn budget. Or require one, or whatever. This thing did not used to be inside the rock, or this pillar as much. How did its position on the map get shifted? Maybe as soon as you're not near a certain area of the map, certain data is, I don't know, somehow compressed for the sake of efficiency. And the coordinates were somehow altered. I mean, how else would that work? I'm pretty sure that items, once they're spawned, and after some limited amount of physics interaction upon spawning, they never move. Unless you pick them up, of course. That's weird. Of course I don't know... Oh hey, ukulele. Nice. It's gonna make things a bit more flashy. Yeah, of course I don't know the exact location of these saw blades. But they might also have subtly changed. I mean, this was definitely completely outside of the pillar when I was last here, right? Don't remember it clipping into it even a bit, and now it's most of the way inside. I wonder if it's gonna be completely inside if I leave this area for a while again. Almost to impossible difficulty, for what it's worth. I wish I could just tell the game to crank it all the way up. But oh well. Also, for the sake of this, you know, making this into a video, which obviously I am, I wonder if it would be best, because it's obviously not super exciting, just watching me kill these same easy enemies over and over on the same stage. Not a lot of variety here. I mean, it's mindless fun to me. Mostly mindless. Still kind of fun. If I was doing this on my own, I would be listening to an audiobook or watching YouTube videos on the side or something. But yeah, for the sake of the video, it would probably be best if I ended up editing, you know, cutting out the most repetitive parts and only leaving in certain notable events, such as they are, I guess. But at the same time, that's not really what I do, and, well, I guess I can always make up my mind about that after the run is over, one way or the other. If I mean, I'm still expecting to eventually get overwhelmed by the enemies, but then again, I don't know. If the scaling actually remains linear, or if it progresses in a linear fashion, which I don't know that it does, I guess there's a good chance that I'll stay ahead of the curve, as I seem to be right now. Of course, it might get a lot tougher suddenly as we enter staged difficulty and beyond. So, yeah, I don't want to speak too soon. Surprisingly, we don't have as much money as you would expect. I guess that's because, well actually... Enemy money drops should depend on the current difficulty scaling, right? Not the type of enemy? Or does gold gain per enemy kill never increase while you're on the same stage? Don't know if I've ever really paid attention to that or worried about it, because, I mean, obviously, normally it's not really much of a factor. But I'm inclined to believe that I'm still getting the same amount of money per kill. Maybe not. That was a chunk of money I got there, but I guess multiple enemies died. 525. Yeah, that was only 10 gold. Okay, so I'm pretty much convinced now that enemies still give the same amount of gold that they did when I first started. So that explains why, even after all this time, we only have 14.5k. Having spent very little on, like... I suppose we did buy the drone and the healing shrine 3 times. But yeah, obviously, if I had kept going through the stages, not spending any money, we would be a lot richer at this point. This deep into a run. Again, not that it matters. Still not a single clay Templar. Let alone anything worse than that. Another useless boss killer item. Unless they are actually effective against non-teleporter bosses. And if we will actually eventually start seeing them. Would be cool if bosses would start spawning, honestly. Would definitely add a bit of excitement to this. Especially, of course, if we end up seeing scavengers eventually. That would be amazing. Mostly because it would allow me to finish that challenge right away. Whoa. Didn't realize we killed a second ice elite there. I guess we did. It's also worth noting that I'm definitely occasionally taking not insignificant hits to my health. So it's definitely possible to just get careless and die. But I basically have to stop paying attention at all for that to happen. Wow, first tier 3, and it's one of my favorites. Huh. I guess we just got even more OP. You can now basically watch the daggers flying around and causing chain reactions. Yep, there they go. Oh, they didn't trigger anything. Oh, disappointing. I guess I'll still have to help things along occasionally. I kind of miss the good old days. Or, well, not necessarily good or, well, better in every way. Good, yes. Better, probably not, all in all. Definitely missing those old days anyway, where the daggers used to stack the number of daggers that would spawn, not just the damage. That was quite insane. But I still like them. Okay, these are dying up there. Fine by me. Some item drop, yep. Set, okay, another backup mag. That enemy just died immediately, and so did that. Presumably the work of my daggers. Yeah, okay. So I guess the caustic leap just has a certain minimum distance that it will always cover. So I was definitely aiming straight down at these golems, but I still flung myself forward. Yeah. It's definitely not super easy to aim precisely, but I mean, it does have an area of impact to make up for that. Wow, I completely forgot that there was actually another tier of difficulty between Impossible and the final one. Well, I mean, I'm going to try and keep this going until at least the final named difficulty tier. Even though at this point I'm not really expecting things to change dramatically until then. But we'll see. Oh nice, finally more crit. Just what I needed, more damage. And yeah, I mean, I guess if nothing has dramatically changed by the time I reach ha, I'll just, you know, end the run. I mean, I suppose I can always start moving forward with the game, actually, you know, trying to make this a victory. In fact, maybe that's not the most terrible idea. I mean, this was an experiment, as I have said repeatedly at this point. And I think so far I've proven that doing this on normal difficulty is too easy. It's not a challenge at all so far, except for the very, very early stages. And I'm going ahead and assuming that even on Monsoon, once you get past the initial bump in difficulty, things are gonna smooth out. Because while it is dramatically more difficult, yeah, even then, I think I would still be comfortably able to deal with the enemies. I don't know, I guess there's really only one way to find out, and that is doing this actually on Monsoon, which I might do off camera. Or I suppose if you wouldn't mind seeing it, I definitely would be open for keep trying it on video a couple more times. Just let me know. I mean, you can also definitely give me suggestions for things I could try, for, you know, special artifact setups. And I'm at least going to consider doing them, depending on how much of a pain they seem to be, perhaps. I don't know, maybe saying that was a mistake. No, I trust you. You wouldn't want to hurt me, right? You wouldn't want to make me suffer, right? Anyway, I mean, yeah, I don't really have any other special challenges in mind. Not that this was necessarily meant as a challenge, as in, you know, something difficult. Hey there! You're the number 3, I think. Maybe 4. Congratulations. And you dropped that item. Oddly fitting. I suppose I could use that? Huh. You know what? Sure. I've never used this item, but I suppose in a scenario where money just isn't an issue, and never will be, I might as well use it. Although things just die without me doing anything, so... There's that. Oh, yeah, that guy, for example, just basically died before I had a chance to even fire off the item. I'll have to take to keep an eye on my money count, actually, next time I start the item. I haven't really seen it going down at all. No, I mean, it's going down very, very slowly. I wonder if that's also based on the scaling or based on the gold values of the monsters on the stage. Yeah, it looks like my money's actually still going up, even when I'm using this, what's it even called? Golden Gun? Crowdfunder, right. There, Gatling Gun versus Gatling Gun. Huh. Okay, that's surprisingly good. And I suppose I knew that it was good, but during normal gameplay I find myself never really wanting to use that, because there's typically a better use for my money. And also, I kind of prefer the kind of equipment that you just, you know, fire once for great effect. Because this, I suppose you can just keep this going and still use your skills at the same time. Right now, I'm just firing. Not super flashy, but, you know, it does its thing, I suppose. I guess the oh yeah, okay, that's how it works. The speed goes up, and so does the rate that it consumes money, of course. Okay, that makes sense. But even when you just briefly toggle it on, as I have been doing, it seems surprisingly effective. Mostly because it also triggers effects, which then proceed to kill the enemies. The damage from the crowdfunder itself is probably not that great. I mean, it's surprisingly working out. So maybe from now on I will not automatically disregard that item as being completely useless. Not promising that I'm actually going to really use it, but, well, who knows. I feel like I was starting, or that I have started saying something, talking about something, and kind of trailed off as I do. When I was... Oh yeah, okay, right. So... trying this again on higher difficulty, right. So I think I want to do that at least for myself off camera, but also possibly on video if there's any kind of interest in that. But I mean, I don't know. I cannot really imagine this being particularly interesting to watch. So I mean, I suppose the monsoon version would be more interesting, but honestly I was expecting more different enemy types to show up over time. More elites showing up over time, definitely. Surprised we haven't seen a single strong enemy elite version, not even a single elite mushroom, I think, which is, you know, a bit disappointing. Fireworks are unfortunately not going to do anything because I'm never going to activate anything until I start moving on, if I do. Well, yeah, anyway, I guess as for the plan concerning this run here, I'm gonna keep going. Oh wow, I see you, then there's I'm coming for you, and then there's hahaha. Wow, crazy. It's so crazy how much faster the difficulty advances just by going through the stages. Just the fact, I guess it does put you forward like half a difficulty bar for each stage advance, so I guess that does add up very quickly. It's just, you know, not something you really consider until you do this very specific kind of challenge. So I guess, I mean, if nothing else, this has given me certain things to think about and to put into perspective that or a way I hadn't done before. Not sure if I'm really taking away many things for normal gameplay, except that I guess I'm much more comfortable controlling accurate now, for what it's worth. I mean, this is a pretty, if nothing else, this is a pretty safe, controlled environment to just practice using his skills and controlling this character. So I suppose technically that would work for any character. Oh, it could have been a little bit dangerous there. Right then. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to a different use item. Sure, why not this one? There. Wow, 7,000. Not bad. Well, it looks like we're seeing these a little bit more frequently now, for what it's worth. Maybe we'll eventually see some other enemies as well. Yeah, well, anyway, as I said, if I'm going to, if I reach the final difficulty, which apparently is going to take even longer than I thought, but at this point I'm, oh, wait, no, never mind. For some reason I thought this was Royal Capacitor. I don't know why I would think that. Anyway, yeah. So if I, yeah, right. At this point I'm going to definitely keep going because of, you know, sunk cost and all that. Just for the sake of doing it, so I can say that I've done it once and I never have to do it again, except of course on Monsoon. But yeah, I'm gonna do that, and if I survive that long, I am going to actually charge the teleporter and try to go for obliteration at the obelisk. Just, you know, just so I don't have to end up killing myself. I was really not expecting this to be such a long run, mostly. I was expecting the difficulty to advance much faster than this, even on normal. Because obviously the last couple of runs, last couple of videos I made anyway, have been like close to the 2-hour mark, which is not insignificant. Can definitely see that being a bit on the long side for most people. But I mean, with these videos, I don't want to just randomly cut them up somewhere, because runs are naturally limited in length. Some are longer than others, but yeah, I just these last couple of runs have just ended up being a bit on the long side. Of course, when you're, for example, just going on drizzle difficulty, things can easily like go on for hours. But there's a reason I'm not usually doing that kind of run on camera, just because, you know, while it's fun and completely insane after a certain point, it's also, you know, not challenging and just long. So pretty much the exact reasons why I'm not super happy with how this is shaping up to be. Or has shaped up to be, actually. Well, managed to almost try to stagger to its max, which is crazy. In fact, I mean, I suppose we have a pretty wide variety of items at this point. Still, hardly any healing, almost no damage reduction, pretty much just one teddy bear. And I guess one stealth kit somewhere in there. I think I remember picking that up, even though I don't see it now. No, there it is, okay. But apart from that, or on the other hand I should say, we have stacked certain items a significant number of times, a surprising number of times. Like 5 sticky bombs, 5 ATG missiles actually. I suppose getting 2 from the teleporter boss helped in that regard. Right. But also, notably, we only got a single tier 3 so far. Which I definitely have noticed before on previous sacrifice runs. Seem to be exceedingly rare on sacrifice, so I've definitely found myself finding less tier 3s when playing with sacrifice, as opposed to normal runs. Where it's not that uncommon to see tier 3s even from tier 1 chests, especially kind of common from tier 2s, tier 2 chests, I mean. And then of course there are the couple of guaranteed ones, which you will also get on sacrifice runs, so there is that. The tier 3 chest on the Magma Caverns still spawns when you're playing with sacrifice, and also you get the one from Void Fields, of course, if you do that, and you get the one from the Alloy of Worship units in Siren's Call. So in that regard, you do still end up with, you know, a number of tier 3s, even when playing with sacrifice. But just from enemy drops, they seem to be significantly rarer than, you know, compared to getting them from chests. Or maybe it's just a matter of the sample size not allowing conclusive, or not giving me conclusive results in that regard. It's possible. Maybe even kind of likely. Of course, for all the things we have stacked, crit chance is not really one of them. I mean, we have a little bit. That could definitely be even higher. Honestly, as kind of dull as it is to get there, but I am quite curious how difficult the rest of the game is going to be once I start moving on. If it's even going to be possible, or if maybe the game's going to completely destroy me as soon as I am maybe 1 or 2 stages further in. Because obviously, once I do activate the teleporter, I am going to jump ahead in difficulty quite a bit. And then again and again. And maybe, I mean, I suppose there is a reason most people, or really anyone playing this game, well, quote-unquote seriously, would tell you that not spending too much time per stage, or, you know, only spending a certain low-ish number of minutes per stage is ideal to not get outpaced by the scaling. So I can't help but wonder what spending an hour and a half on the first stage and then moving on actually does in terms of the scaling. So I guess that's its own interesting, experiment in its own right. You know what, I'm gonna... Nope, not go back to this one, actually. Go back to the... And that's another crowdfunder? No way. Where's the... Wasn't there... Oh, there's one. I thought there was another missile launcher up here somewhere. But in preparation for moving on eventually, I think I prefer that one. Or maybe even... Saw blades for killing bosses quickly? I don't know. Maybe. Actually, I like these quite a bit, and I feel like they're kind of fitting for Acrid somehow. He seems like the type who would just throw huge spinning saw blades at his enemies. I don't know. I guess if there were some kind of poison or acid-themed equipment, that would be more fitting. I guess the Prion accumulator at least shoots something green, so arguably that wouldn't be too bad. Okay, okay, nice, nice. More keys, wow. Oh, we only have 4, but I suppose... I don't know how that stacks, or rather what the chances are for each number of stacks. But I'm guessing that with 4 rusted keys, there's already a pretty decent chance for getting even a tier 3 out of a rusty lockbox. Which of course you have to find in the first place. And the plan is definitely to rush for the teleporter as quickly as possible, as soon as I start going. Honestly, I'm more than a little worried about the lack of healing and damage reduction. All I say is I finally get a armor plate. That's certainly appreciated, but a single one is not going to do much. But, yeah. Oh, why did I run right into this, by the way? I have no idea. Some movement speed, much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a very, very real possibility, even a high likelihood of me not making it to the obelisk at all. I might get completely obliterated on the second stage at this rate. I guess we'll find out. Kind of soon-ish. We're more than halfway through. I'm coming for you, difficulty. What's this? Another one? No thanks, game. I guess an hour and a half in on the first stage wasn't even that far off, even though I pretty much just made that up at the time, but it seems like we're gonna be almost there by the time this is done. Maybe that's exactly how it works. Maybe... No, it seems like we're not gonna be quite there. Nice, nice. Looks like we've pretty much reached a point where we can just kill something and then watch the chain reaction going. Oh wow, I guess the daggers were still around. It's just about to shoot that guy to start it going again, but... Okay, more healing. I suppose we do have 5 of those, huh? Still, obviously it does require us to kill something first. And I'm not sure how well that scales. Okay. 2 predatory instincts. Alright, things are not dying right now. Looks like things need a little kickstart every now and then. Fair enough, I guess. Of course, if we could get another tier 3, say a Tesla coil, that would be pretty cool. Okay, nice. More crit, more gasoline. Actually, we didn't even have gasoline. Huh, well. Obviously there's a bunch of items we don't have yet. Even tier 1s, we have no sprinting speed, I think. For example. We have no cautious slug for extra health regen. Ah, these chain reactions are quite glorious. I like it. Especially when they start going again, even though all the enemies had previously been wiped out. Okay, so we're looking at about 85, maybe 86 minutes to reach the final difficulty tier. Not a single boss has spawned, not a single higher level elite. Only a handful of clay Templars. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting in its own right. Just how that works. Even if the outcome or the effect on gameplay isn't really all that exciting. Yeah, looks like 86 minutes might be pretty accurate. Not quite. Okay. So 86 minutes, 5 seconds to reach the final difficulty tier. At least, you know. At least in name. Okay, well, suppose I've proven what I wanted to prove, for what it's worth. So now I can go ahead and get my ass thoroughly kicked, most likely, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm really not sure what to expect. Nope. Yep. Sure got frozen there. We do have 5 topaz brooches actually, which is not bad. So a pretty decent amount of shield per kill. Nope. Nice, nice. More crit. Come on. Still no double jump though. That's definitely something I'm sorely missing. Okay, teleporter is done. Well, I guess most enemies, if not all of them, are probably dead at this point. You know, I figured after all this I might as well leave the stage completely clean. Not leave any trash behind. I suppose there's all the corpses, but those are gonna rot away, it's fine. It's all biodegradable. Alright, and now we just rush straight for the teleporter. Of course I'm going to activate the shrine because, you know, why would I not? Might as well do this. We're already seeing a couple of elites here, pre-spawned. There could be another shrine, but I think I'm good. Blazing Stone Titan, wonderful. It's only a single one though. Huh. Only. It's dying relatively quickly for that kind of enemy. Oh god. Of course, if he actually lasers me for any extended amount of time, I'm pretty much toast. No pun intended. And he's dead. And we get some warhorns. Alright, well. We also got a bunch of items just from enemies, from collateral damage. Okay, I mean, so far I'm not feeling particularly threatened, although the boss was a little bit scary. I guess I didn't stay long enough, or didn't let him stay long enough to find out how easily he would have killed me. Oh boy. Look at them go. Oh boy, what the heck was that? Oh, you're an elite. Okay. Is that a shock elite? Maybe? I thought I saw something exploding on me, so maybe... Oh yeah, there. That's definitely a shock elite. Oh god. Yeah, he's definitely sticking all kinds of shock bombs to me. I don't like it one bit. Get out of there. So yeah. Not immortal by any means. In fact, quite squishy. As soon as something like that happens. Wait, that's just gold. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Oh, well, no, that's... I kept mistaking that banner as an item to pick up. Okay, this stage. Hey, there's our lockbox. Easy to spot here. Well, yeah, I'll take it. Thanks. Thanks for asking. That didn't even try to hit that jellyfish there. A little bit disappointed. Oh, what? Something dropped somewhere. I thought. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Does it matter that whiff as well? Okay, this guy is gonna die. Oh, actually, is he gonna die before he explodes me? I should not take the risk. Huh. I did so much damage initially and then nothing? Okay. So, from what I can tell from my experience so far, things are not killing me instantly, but certain things are definitely scary. Scarier than others, and it's definitely, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel the scaling. Bosses aren't a problem. I guess if nothing else, I have picked up a bunch of bullets, boss killer bullets. More crit, thank you. Still haven't maxed that out. There's another one of those bands. You dropped something for me? Yep, another war banner. Meh. Better than nothing. There's a ton of shields. I'd like to keep those up if possible. Or, well, when I say shields, in this case I mean absorption barrier or whatever. Going down rapidly though. Huh. I guess we've dealt with, we had dealt with all the spawns that were present. Oh, that's a coin, I'll take it. I think I also heard something else drop somewhere. Maybe not. I guess not. Okay, moving on. I think there might be... I think the artifact code for the stage might be on that island in the lake. If I remember correctly. So far I have not managed to get there to get that. Get there to get that. To write that down. Okay, that guy is getting wrecked a surprising amount. Oh. Okay. Tried one final trick before I finished him. Sure, I'll take... Oh, hey, alien head. Didn't even see you. That's nice. Okay, more healing. Probably not enough to save me in the long run, but it's appreciated. Oh boy. Oh, hey, scavenger! Please don't kill me. Please allow me to kill you. You can fly, huh? Please don't go. Nice. Okay, wonderful. Surprised I got that before the other achievement for poisoning or infecting enough people. Well, people, you know, monsters, of course, would never infect people. Acrid is a good dog, after all, or a good lizard. I'm really not sure what he is. Okay, we have 10,000 gold. That's probably not enough to afford this. It actually is almost enough to afford this. Never mind. Huh. Maybe gold drops and costs are dependent on stage on the stage number and not the scaling of difficulty. So I think that almost 100 minutes in, things should be more expensive than this. Okay, Shattering Justice. I like it, and now it's definitely high time to look for the teleporter. Honestly, I should have prioritized that, even on this stage. Spending every extra minute that I spend at this point is potentially devastating. Where is it though? Oh, over there. I guess I must have seen it. Also, 2 shrines, huh? You're really trying to kill me. But you know what? At this point, I've actually... Oh boy. Is this bad? No, actually. This seems not bad. Wow. Okay, that last guy is a little bit tankier. There we go. Okay, well, more warhorns. Sure. Thanks. Huh. That was not nearly as bad as I thought. Yeah, anyway, this has already been successful because I managed to get that achievement. And even though I'm not quite there yet, I must be a lot closer to getting that other one as well. Or maybe I got it without noticing? No. No. I don't think so. I'm probably just not quite there yet. But I must be getting closer to getting those 1,000 infections. Unless this doesn't... Maybe it doesn't count with the alternate passive, the alternate type of infection? That's a possibility. Of course, you still can't check achievements while you're in a run, for whatever reason. Well, not from inside the game, anyway. But I guess we'll know after we're done. No reason to stick around, right? Or is there? No? No, there's not. Just quickly making sure I'm not leaving any items behind. Nah. We're good. Oh! And... Oh, hey, I actually managed to pick that up. Could have bought a turret as well. Actually, is our drone dead? No, it's not. Okay, sprite fields. Sky Meadow. That oh no, never mind. Came back. Came back to haunt him. He died so quickly. Wow. Holy moly. Honestly, I can't believe this is... Oh, hi there. Imp Overlord. Funny seeing you here. Also, I thought it was a blazing one, but I guess it was just looked very red. Okay, and it's dead. I'm surprised how well this is working out. I was really expecting the scaling to catch up to me very quickly. I think, well, I'm gonna activate the teleporter now. I still have an artifact challenge to finish that I know. A single pattern that I have not entered yet. Okay, I took a lot of damage there. I should probably pay a little bit of attention, honestly. Take things seriously. Okay, he died. He just died. Fine by me. More quills, sure. Better than nothing. Not as good as a double jump though, or 2 double jumps. Would have gladly taken those. Anyway, yeah, we have another ally worship unit somewhere. Not sure where though. Right there? Uh-oh. Somewhere nearby-ish? Uh-oh. What? I thought for sure I was in the area, but I guess not. Also, did the boss just die up there? I saw something explode. I guess he must have died. I'm gonna assume that he died. There's another red whip. Holy moly. Okay, suddenly sprinting very quickly. Yeah, anyway, so there is another artifact to unlock that I have the code for. And then I think 3 more? Well, actually 4 more. No, there's... Strictly speaking, there is another artifact that I have the code for, but that's the frailty one, and I still don't feel courageous enough to attempt that one. So I just know that I'm going to fall. Because I always fall. I don't think I've completed that artifact stage a single time without falling, ever. Well, maybe once, but I had a ton of double jumps, and... yeah, still, that's not a very good track record. And I definitely don't want to, you know, get all the way there, spend however long it takes to get there, and then just fall and fail. So I'm gonna do that one when I'm sure that I'm not going to die from fall damage, just so I have it out of the way. But then in addition to that, there are like 3 more artifacts that I don't have the code for. As I said, I never picked up the one in the snow stage that we just were in, because I've never been able to jump to that island. I suppose, well, I mean, right now I feel like I could do it. Well, no, not without double jumps. I suppose there are multiple ways to achieve that, potentially. Through, you know, a combination of movement speed and double jumps, or through actually being able to fly, like with the volcanic egg, or draconic egg? Either or. The reason I'm running around here right now is I'm still looking for the radar station to unlock the lower entry for this stage. I have not been lucky with that so far. I might also keep missing it. I don't know if it's in a random location. I'm assuming it is, because I think that's how it works on other stages. If it's in some kind of hidden location, then I might just not have found it so far. But then, oh, you know, this is why having a double jump is useful. Also, I guess a scavenger died here? Huh. Okay. Thanks, I guess. Well, I didn't see the thing, so I guess I'm going to do the artifact. This could be bad, of course, because I have no idea what it is. Let's see, it should be... Can I activate it? Wait, what? Oh, there we go. I think it's spheres. Actually, I should look it up. Spheres. Okay. Down here. Why is it so awkward to aim? Huh. I don't know. then pyramids, and finally cubes in these positions. That should be it. Once again, I have no idea what artifact this is. It could be something really bad. It's very possible that I'm gonna die, but we'll see. If it's not something that's likely to just instantly kill me, or make me kill myself, then I should be powerful enough. Actually, not having a double jump is also going to be a pain in that level. And the combination of not having a double jump, but moving extremely quickly, making, you know, precise movements more difficult. Well, we'll see. I guess I can always ditch if it sounds too daunting. Artifact of Death. When one player dies, everyone dies. Okay, well, it's literally inconsequential in single-player mode. And that is the hole that always kills me, that I just happen to skip over. Thanks for not knocking me back as you usually do. That's actually really bad. Okay. Healing up. And now we wait for enemies to spawn. The last couple of times I've actually not been super unlucky with this stage. And things have generally died pretty quickly. I almost jumped into the hole there. Things have died quickly and also, more importantly, dropped the necessary key pretty quickly. Not having a double jump on this stage, though, is extra annoying because most of these, or many of these platforms cannot be jumped onto with normal jump height. Oh my god. I guess if I take a running jump, nope. Is there any way for me to jump onto this platform? That's very silly. Okay, that works. Yeah, one of the first times I was here off camera, I actually had the hardest time getting out of here because to reach the portal you have to reach that platform, and I was here as Huntress actually, but without any double jumps or much movement speed at all, and it proved to be extremely difficult, surprisingly difficult to get to that platform. Apparently, I can only assume that dashing from ground level was not enough to reach that height, or else obviously it would have been easy, but yeah. It took me a moment to find the route, because thankfully there is a way to reach that platform. It's a little bit roundabout. You have to take a series of geysers that push you upward. Okay, well. I should really regenerate when I can. Pick up that key. Take up the mushroom. Okay, that actually helps, having an additional one. And another one of these. It's all nice, but I really would prefer just to be out of here quickly. So, more keys, please. Oh boy. Thankfully, multiple keys can spawn. It would be pretty awful if the game actually limited it to one key spawning, and if you just don't see it, you'll just keep waiting for the spawn forever. Well, yeah, you know, that's the thing that keeps happening here, which is why I'm not looking forward to doing the artifact where falling kills you. At this point, the key probably spawns somewhere. Maybe. Oh, all kinds of things dropped for me, so that's nice. Oh, there's one. Okay. Nope. Not this time, Hole. You tried, though. Well, one more. Please don't kill me. Please allow me to regain some health. Okay. Oh, wow. I guess the reliquary itself hits pretty hard as well. Awkward. Having relatively slow normal movement speed and extremely high sprinting speed is also, of course, as I said, making controlled movement. Oh, hey there. Suddenly there's two. Very interesting. Wait, did I not activate it? Uh-oh. Okay, I thought I interacted with it, but I guess not. Let's do it like that then. What? Am I? Oh, I'm dumb. I pressed R instead of E. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Well, that was stupid. Could have been really bad. But we're good. Now, of course, you still have to pick it up. Oh, there we go. Trial of Death complete. And there might be some items to pick up. There is the Royal Capacitor, which I do love. You know what? Sure. We haven't seen it so far. I might as well pick it up, maybe even use it. And now, the way to get up and out of here. Well, first of all, I'm gonna quickly make sure I'm not missing any item drops up here. Not that I desperately need more items, but, you know, it's always feels bad to leave any behind. Wait, this actually might... Yeah, okay, that boosts me up here. The one that you have to take is kind of hidden a little bit. It's on this platform that you otherwise don't have much of a reason to visit. But this boosts you up to this platform, and then from here you can go to the exit. In retrospect, it's silly that it took me so long to find this. I mean, basically I was trying to reach this platform by other means. Just trying to jump from different parts of the map. So I wasn't really actively looking for bounce pads, but in retrospect, obviously, they would not design the level in such a way that without any additional jumps or movement speed, you just can't beat it. Nice, nice. He died easily enough. It's another 10 items or so for basically free. More sprinting speed, just what I needed. Yikes. They're kind of stingy with higher tier items, I find, but, you know, I'll take a bunch of free tier ones. Oh, hey, that was lucky. Stone Titans, huh? Alright, okay. Bosses remain easy. Our movement speed is actually kind of ridiculous at this point. Definitely to the point where I should consider not picking up any more sprinting, speed increasing items if I can avoid them. Which is easier said than done. Well, yeah, I guess. Try to avoid that quail. Because a certain number of them is definitely nice to have. But after a point, it makes things needlessly finicky. Well, two of them, huh? Okay. The game's really insisting on making things more difficult for me. Any way it can. Oh wait, is... Actually, is that island possibly? Or one of these islands? A place I should try to reach? I don't know. It's fine. Is that another scavenger? No. That's actually White River. Oh. I mean, they look scary. I guess they are, comparatively. But yeah, typically I find that at the point in the game where you start seeing them, they tend to not be an issue. Not more so than other enemies. Would you please activate the teleporter? Well. Magma Worm, hey. Long time no see. Actually, I haven't seen one in this entire series of runs so far. But Magma Worms tend to die extremely quickly. Possibly the kind of boss that dies the quickest in long runs. Something about them being multi-segmented and things that, you know, deal area damage, just hitting them multiple times and just melting them completely. Something's over there. I'm dying. Can't easily check. I don't need to either. More coins. Oh, actually managed to build up to a pretty respectable number of lunar coins at this point. Yeah, one of those last couple of runs that I did, I actually ended with killing the special scavenger in the white level. A moment hole. Which I think he alone gives you exactly 10 coins, if I'm not mistaken. And then you do get the 5 that you normally get for obliterating in addition to that. No, I meant to get that. Hey, Void Reaver. Still don't have their enemy log, because I have not killed a huge number of them. Actually, let me snipe you, buddy. I think that second one hit a smaller enemy. That's fine. First Malachite Elite. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, okay, okay. Whoa. I have no idea what hit me there. But it was bad. Yikes. So much so that I want to, well, I guess probably kill this Malachite Elite. Not sure if he hit me necessarily, if that dealt so much damage. Them being very damaging is not normally the biggest problem, but obviously they, or maybe not obviously, but they do prevent you from healing for a while, which is, needless to say, pretty scary. So I'm assuming that something else actually did all that damage to me. I don't know. In the chaos of battle, it's usually, I usually find it completely impossible to keep track of that kind of thing, like exactly what hit me. Is that? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, teleporter is up here. Pretty much had to be. So I've looked just about everywhere else. Scavenger. Actually, Scavenger as boss? That's the first time I see this. And he died. he just died. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And I think he also dropped an item on death, in addition to his sack and the teleporter dropping an item, because, you know, because of teleporter. That was interesting. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't kill me now, please. would be just amazing if I could actually finish this run after all this. Okay. Whew. And here I go, picking up more movement speed. I guess it really doesn't matter much at this point. Oh my god. Whew. Whole swarm of those things. Thankfully they die basically as soon as they spawn. At this stage. 75%, come on. Don't screw me up now. What? What? Was that my drone that was killed, or did it actually spawn on top of the teleporter structure right there? That's kind of hilarious, either way. Well, okay, I guess I did it. GG. Huh. Some enemies left over there. Oh wow, something very tanky. I think I saw a Void Reaver over there actually, so that might be it. Well, I certainly was not expecting to end up obliterating myself on this run. That's not what it seemed like when I started out. It's... oh no! What? I have no idea how I managed to catch myself. I don't have a double jump still, no. I have no idea how I actually saved that. I was definitely seeing myself getting reset all the way to the first platform, but I guess not. Well, that's GG. That was quite the run. And yes, I definitely have not managed to do the other unlock for accurate, which is interesting. I definitely want to see... does it show me here, the progress? No. Inflict poison 1000 total times. Oh, it has to be poison specifically. Well, that answers that. I guess then, in that case, we have made no progress whatsoever. But what did we get here? Ravenous Bite instead of Neurotoxin. Really? Bite enemy. Okay. Up to 3 times damage to low health enemies. Okay, so finisher, basically. But it does replace our main range move. That's interesting. So we have an option to make Acrid more of a melee character, but we, at least as of now, we don't have an option to make him more of a range character by replacing his melee primary move with something with a ranged attack. Huh, interesting. Well, anyway, that was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should probably go ahead and edit the first hour and a half. Cut that down to size a little bit, but we'll see. You'll see what I ended up doing. I mean, truth be told, I'm probably going to end up not editing it, as I usually do. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna figure out what to do with this. I think it was still overall an interesting experience. That's for sure. Even if the beginning was... the first hour and a half were, you know, were what they were. Anyway, as always, feel free to let me know what you think about this. Is this kind of video fine, just to have as, you know, running in the background while you're doing something more interesting yourself? Or, well, yeah, anything. As always, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and I shall see you real soon. Bye-bye.